Eyup, hope you're doing well. So I decided to build another community lot for this video, and for the longest time I've wanted a florist or a flower shop, whatever you want to call it, in my game, and yeah, I've never got around to doing it, so I thought, why not make a video of me building one. It was a bit tricky to build in terms of what I wanted it to look like, because most florists that you see in real life aren't like a detached building. They're normally on a ground floor, or they normally are a ground floor building with like maybe a flat or an apartment or something like that above, or offices or whatever, as part of like a row of terraced houses, like on a high street or a main street or whatever. And you can't really do that in The Sims. So, well, you can do that, but you can just like build shops either side. But I don't know, I didn't really want to do that. So yeah, I just decided to make it like a standalone detached building. I built it in Newcrest on the row of lots that's called Ridgeline Drive. The description for that area says, "This busy strip of real estate lining the streets of the Newcrest suburbs boasts ample hiking trails." Well, I'm eventually going to make this area just community lot area, like a high street or main street, whatever you want to call it. I think I'm just going to add like a library, a restaurant, and whatever else that I want to add later. So I thought this would be like the best place for this shop. I'd just like to give a quick thank you to Jamie_DXX on Instagram. I'll put her tag or handle, in the description. I put on my Instagram story, I put like a little suggestion box. Cannot speak today. I put a little suggestion box on my Instagram story just so that I could get suggestions of people, obviously, for the name of the shop, because for some reason I just couldn't come up with a name for it. The names I were coming up with were like quite, I don't know, basic kind of. Like I thought of like the flower pot, or like, I don't know, like just really boring, kind of forgettable. And I was just going to call it the flower shop or the plant shop. And I thought, no, actually, I'll ask on Instagram, because I have been meaning to do that and see if other people can come up with better ideas. Fortunately, it only took like a couple suggestions before I found one that I liked. And yeah, she suggested New Leaf, which I thought was a really like clever kind of name to call it. So yeah, thank you to her. So like I said, I built this shop in Newcrest. It's on a 30 by 20 lot. It's classed as a retail lot, and it uses quite a few packs. It uses items from Discover University, Seasons, Get Together, Get to Work, Laundry Day stuff, and a few of those plants from Romantic Garden stuff, because I really wanted to use those hanging like flowers that has that like ivy swatch. I know it is quite a lot of expansion packs. I do normally try to build with only 2 or 3 expansion packs at the most, and then like maybe 5 packs at the most in general. But yeah, I just got a little bit carried away because I really wanted to use like specific plants from each of those packs to kind of fill the build up a little bit, rather than just using repeats of the same plants over and over. So this lot is intended to be used as a retail lot, like I said, so you'd play it like yourself, where your Sims are playing it. So you could sell the flower arrangements, or if you didn't want to play with that, you could just sell plants. I've made it so that there's like a few things that can be set for sale. So there's like the regular plants that you don't make yourself. There's also some like cow plant figurines, just because I thought, why not? I also included an apartment or a flat above the shop, because I thought that would be quite realistic, and I personally prefer to stay on the lot when I play with retail in The Sims 4. You can't actually live on the lot, like you would have to have a separate house somewhere, and then the retail lot is a separate lot to that. But you can stay here for as long as you want, and it is like living here. But I think I'm going to build a proper house for The Sims that I have here in my game. So let me know if you'd want to see that build as well. But I would definitely use way less packs in that one. So how's everyone doing then? How's your week been so far? I said in my last video that I was planning on getting into like a new routine. I've been wanting to like have more of a schedule when it comes to videos and try and get up like 2 videos a week. Obviously I'm only on my first video of the week, but so far like so good. When I say like getting into a routine, it's an old routine, but obviously because of lockdown and everything in the UK, everything's just been like at a standstill. Kids being at home, everybody's kind of off work, or lots of people are off work, should I say. Obviously not everybody is, but yeah, so it's an old routine, but it's like new because I've not been doing it for a while, if that makes sense. So yeah, I've been super eager to kind of like get back to a little bit of normality, and obviously feel like extremely grateful that I'm able to do that. So yeah, it's definitely a lot less stress, even though it's only been like nearly 2 days. But yeah, I've just had a bit more time to spend on videos and not feeling like super rushed and I've got to get it all done and all that kind of thing immediately. Because it does take me quite a long time to put videos together. I do have ADHD, and sometimes when it comes to like planning and organising, that can kind of slow that process down and make it difficult. I also tend to get distracted while I'm making a video, so I can look on like a picture if I'm wanting to get like a bit of inspiration for landscaping, or if I'm looking at maybe a living room inspiration, or if I'm just looking at something in general or a notification pops up, then I'll get distracted from building and I can just be scrolling for an hour and then I'm like, oh yeah, I was meant to be building. So yeah, not missing the homeschooling either. That's been really nice to kind of get away from that. It almost feels like weird though to not wake up every day and be like, quick, get on to do lessons and rushing around doing that. That's been like a relief to have that like finally gone, because I really did struggle with that. Obviously with me being neurodivergent, it is difficult for me to kind of do things like that. Like I struggled in school myself with concentration and getting things done on time. Like everything was always super last minute. But when you've got to do that as a parent, like it's even harder because you don't have the same kind of expectations on you as a kid. Kids kind of get away with a little bit more than adults do. As a parent, you're kind of expected to just like get on with it, and obviously I can't. So yeah, decided to build this little greenhouse and put a bunch of plants in the back along with that Patchy is his name. I just thought it would be cute to add him there. I did actually get the Sims to plant, grow and make their own flower arrangements for this build. I was going to just get them from Debug, but when placing them in the lot, they just didn't look right, so I just thought it's just better to make them myself with the Sims that I made recently. I don't know why they didn't look right. Everything else from Debug seems to like go down normally. But yeah, when I was placing them, they looked a bit, I don't know, like they just changed. Like they looked okay when I picked them up, but then when I placed them, they changed. So I don't know what was wrong with that, but either way, it was a little bit of extra effort, but it didn't really matter. But yeah, I'll upload the Sims to the gallery that I use in the screenshots. Of course, you don't have to play with the ones that I play with or the ones that I upload, but I always like to include the Sims that I use in my screenshots just in case people do want them. Except I did forget to upload the family from my last build, but I've made a note to do that later, so hopefully I remember to even read that note. So yeah, I said in my last video that I'm working towards catching up to present day in Animal Crossing New Horizons, because I'm actually way back in November, and I said I actually want to get to like December in one day in my last video and eventually catch up to March by the end of this week. Well, I'm still in November. Yeah, I've like played about a week's worth of it. I think it's just because like my last video did take me quite a while to do. Like it took me a full weekend. In fact, probably took me even a bit longer actually. Like, and when I say full weekend, I mean like all day up until the last couple of hours before bed, where I'd like do something else. Like I said, I have ADHD. I'm also autistic, so sometimes things just take me a bit longer to do than everybody else. Spent time with my partner as well for the birthday. And yesterday I was building this house or this shop, and then obviously I'm like doing editing and recording stuff today. So I think today I am actually going to get to December in the game, because what I'm actually planning on doing is like a tour of my island. But because I stopped playing it for a while, I want to like catch up. If you don't play Animal Crossing, this will literally mean nothing to you, but I really like it. I've been playing since Wild World, and yeah, it's just one of my favourite games. But I get that like I don't have to do all this like catch up thing. I could literally just like time travel to present day, because it's, if you didn't know, Animal Crossing's like a real time game. Should probably add that. But yeah, I could just time travel to present day, record the tour, because I'm wanting to do it for like in a couple of weeks, like maybe in 1 week even, and then I could just time travel back and collect all the stuff. But I've not seen all like the seasonal items yet, and I'm thinking that there's probably going to be items that I want on my island for like the tour, and by the time I do the tour I want my island to be finished. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop speaking about Animal Crossing now, because yeah, this is not an Animal Crossing video. So back to the build. This shop is absolutely covered, like every single room, with plants. Not even just like the main shop, but like upstairs. Obviously there's like a garden, the flower arranging room, and then even in the bathroom there's quite a few plants. It's almost unrealistic to a certain extent to own this many plants and like have them all live in. But this is the Sims like actual job, so I guess they would have quite a lot. If you've ever been to like a plant shop, they do have quite a lot of plants. But also the Sims that I made for this, or at least one of them, Erin, the red-haired girl, she's autistic. I'm autistic, like I said, and have ADHD, and I imagine that for Erin, her special interests are plants, so she would absolutely want to be surrounded by them and to collect them. Now, obviously, I realise that you can't actually make autistic Sims in this game, not without mods. I don't even know if there is a mod that you can do that. And yeah, I guess EA, I don't even know how they would even implement that, and I'm not even sure if they should, or any games company should implement like customizable autistic characters, unless like the game developer or the person in charge of that decision is actually autistic. But yeah, to me, Erin, she is autistic, because I did kind of put a lot of how I am into her. So she likes to collect plants. I personally don't collect plants. I do have them, but not to like this extreme. But yeah, I imagine that that's what she likes to do. And I've also made her a loner, which sounds a bit mean, but like the loner trait would allow her to get tense around other Sims, because she prefers being by herself. And I relate like a lot to that. Like I would rather just be by myself, do my own thing. I don't really like to be around a ton of people. And I imagine that like while she's working in the shop, she would get, well, I don't need to imagine it, she would get tense because she's a loner Sim. And that's kind of representative of what it would be like, at least in my experience, being around a lot of people, having loads of people coming into a shop would be quite, like she'd get tense from that and get a bit like overwhelmed and stuff. So she could kind of go to the greenhouse, tend to the plants and flowers, maybe make some flower arrangements. And then she has her partner with her as well to kind of support her and help her through that kind of thing. But yeah, I've never really thought about adding Sims like that and adding things about them that's similar to how I am. I tend to make my Sims that are like not like me at all, really, apart from adding like a bit of creativity every now and again, because like my favourite type of gameplay to play with is with like creative skills and having Sims do creative things. If I make like a family, I always make sure that at least one of them is creative, and whether it's like photography, painting, playing instruments, stuff like that. I mean, I don't even play with like my Sim self because I just find it a bit boring, and also I never want to like see them die. But then I have a friend that only ever plays with their Sim self, and they just move around like 5 times a week. But then in saying all of that about not adding elements of myself to my Sims, I do make quite a lot of queer Sims. In at least every family I've played with, there's always at least one queer Sim, whether they're like a gay man, gay woman, someone who's bi. I've made non-binary Sims before. So I guess that's not strictly true, because I'm queer. So yeah, I also make quite a lot of clumsy Sims, and I definitely relate to that too. And I do find it funny, like watching your Sims like wash the dishes and then they'll just like randomly drop a plate. It's very relatable to me as well. So maybe all along, all my Sims are actually just like me to some extent. Well, I guess you learn something new every day about yourself, don't you? So yeah, with that, I'm going to end the video here and leave you with a little bit of music and some screenshots. Let me know in the comments what you think of the build. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you later. Bye!